The Atlanta Falcons ended their preseason slate 2-1, and all eyes turned to the regular season. A 17-12 victory in Tua's revenge game against the Miami Dolphins. Welcome into Falcons Today, brought to you by Prize Picks. Joe Cronin here on the tail end of this stream, and here's the thing. Falcons fans, if you have not subscribed, I got to ask, it's the time to do so. The juice is flowing. The regular season is right around the corner. We turn the page 2 days from now. Once cut day is complete, it's the regular season. The news, the rumors are going to be flying at all times of the day. We're going live one time a week where you have a live watch party on game day as well. You never want to miss the action. Join the fastest growing Atlanta Falcons channel on YouTube and the internet. So, the overall stats of this game were very even when you look at it from a game total. However, when you look at it from the first half to the second half, it was all Atlanta. We had 220 passing yards in the first half, and it was like, okay, it's 17-6. Tua's moved the ball down the field regardless of really one play. Cooper Rush was finding his mark, dink and dunk here and there. It wasn't crazy offense, but it was offense that was moving, and I think that's a positive to take away from the first half. Second half, it was all Jack Strand. And he just seemed to the leash seemed very short. They weren't going to let him do that much. I think they wanted him to run the ball a lot more, as in, hand the ball off to Nathan Carter and Cash Jones. Didn't have a ton of passing attempts, but that's okay. I do have some offensive players that I do want to hit on and talk about, starting with Tua, the revenge game. Spent 6 years with the team he was drafted 5th overall for. And here he is, after the huge money situation, coming back to Miami, first time in an opposing uniform in the Falcons white. Man, those uniforms are so clean that we have. You look at the stats, it's not bad. Good. The QB rating, I think, is always something you should look at, and that's a positive. Completion, 7 for 8. The lone incompletion, rolling out in a throwaway, avoiding a sack and avoiding any errant pass. 95 yards, 37 of them came from a screen pass to Kyle Pitts. Now, that play was a great play design. It's a third down. They go screen to Kyle Pitts. Drake London and Olamide Zaccheaus are on that right edge, setting the edge as well. And the blocks they had were terrific, and it's why Kyle Pitts was able to maneuver down the field. I don't think the game plan was meant for Tua to take a lot of risks. From what we saw in Denver when he had 5 passing attempts and looked completely rattled, was pressured on all 5, it was settle down, find your marks, and move it down the field. That's a design screen that moved it down the field. He had quick passes, quick hits, out routes that were on time to Jahan Dotson a few times. I like that. There were multiple people that caught passes. It wasn't quite a ton. Brian Robinson caught a few. Kyle Pitts had a big chunk. But also Jahan Dotson got his hands on the ball. He's a Falcons newcomer. That connection had a little bit of growth. The one thing I would like to see, get Drake London some targets. The fact that it's preseason ball and London is on the field at the same time as you should be targeting one of the best receivers in the NFL, a top 10 receiver. You have him for a reason. He can win the 50-50 ball. He has great release, great separation, good route running, and the thing is, target him. I understand, though, some of the play calling wasn't around that. And some of the play calling, we have to take a step back and realize it wasn't meant to just push the ball down the field. It was to move the ball down the field, if that makes sense. I'm not saying air it out, send it 30 yards. It's, hey, dink and dunk, death by 1,000 cuts. And that's what this team did today. And overall, I think it was an okay performance. It didn't wow me. The first half, I was positive. I would give it a C+, B-. Offensively, first half, terrific. Defensively, all game was pretty solid. Other than that, okay game. Here's the thing, though. We are sponsored on every single show, and I have to remind you of our sponsor, of our friends over at Prize Picks. Thank you for making this show possible. The Falcons, the regular season, it's here. Football is back. Can you believe it? I can believe it, and it's time to cash in with Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app, and the best place to win cash while watching those sports. You can sign up for Prize Picks using our code HMA to get $150 in bonus lineups instantly if you win that first $5 lineup. I had some tragic Johnson today. Oh my gosh, it was so close. Tua took the more, green. Took the more on Riley Patterson, green. Jack Strand, short leash. And I'm going to talk about it here in a little bit. That's the thing. I'm going to have plenty of lineups throughout the entire season. If you want to match me, you can download the PrizePicks app today with the code HMA to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win that first $5 lineup. That's code HMA for $150 in bonus lineups if you win that first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it is good to be right. My next person to watch on offense, there's not a ton. I don't want to highlight too many people, but it's Nathan Carter, and the reason I want to talk about him, he's getting cut. I truly believe that. He did not have a great game. You know, you might look at the stats and they were solid from Nathan Carter, but here is the thing. Jack Strand threw an interception. And I am a little too high on Jack Strand sometimes, but that was his fault. Right through the hands. We saw it. Everybody saw it. Right there, tipped over, picked. In his mitts. When he carried the ball as well. 4 carries, 13 yards. That's nothing to write home about. 3.2 yards per carry. This is a team that I would say a trio of running backs is the best 3 in the NFL. I know Brian Robinson fumbled. That's something that we can address at a later date. If it becomes a trend, we address it hard. But you have Bijan. B-Rob is a great RB2, and Tyler Goodson would be on an RB2 on a lot of teams. Cash Jones is someone that I think is very versatile, is even getting special teams reps, is fighting for his life to even make this 53-man roster. Nathan Carter was getting reps in front of him, and I don't think Nathan Carter actually is going to be able to crack this 53-man roster, especially the performance that he had tonight. Here's the thing. My last person on offense, I'm going to keep it quarterback-wise, and I think it's important to. The quarterback situation in Atlanta is wild. And Jack Strand, I believe, was reeled in a little bit. He didn't play poorly. Take away the interception. Once again, that interception is going to seriously deflate his QB rating and overall how you'd view the performance. It seemed like the designed place he had to actually pass the ball. It was the bootleg when you're getting it to the tight end on a little 6-yard pass. Again, moved the ball down the field at times, but also was handing the ball off for the majority of the half. That's an entire half of football. You throw the ball 7 times. He threw it 17 times last week, had 200-plus yards. Why is he not able to throw it over 10 times in one half? I think part of the reason is to implement him more and understand how to hand the ball off. I know that sounds kind of weird, but the proper steps, the footwork that's involved of, setting up an outside zone when you're under center, I think is a lot more invaluable than maybe I'm making it up to be. Which is why Jack Strand is someone to highlight. He's got to make this 53-man roster. I am going to be very mad. He's a project player. I think he has shown at times that he can really have some flashes in this NFL. And you're never going to know unless you give him the chance, and he's someone that deserves that chance. That's really all I have to say about it. Let's go to the defense. JPJ. This is the last we're going to see of him for a long time. A long time. 8-game suspension. And we are going to miss him a lot. What he did today was very sharp. He had a lot of pressures. He's hitting the quarterback. He drilled. Oh, man. He drilled Cam Miller on one of his pass rushes. And I'm like, yeah, he was going to be a star. He's a star in the making. He truly is. It's just the fact that some of the off-the-field problems, you got to clean up, you got to grow, you got to mature. That's the end of story about him. I don't really want to talk about JPJ all that much. I just think we are going to miss him a lot. But the thing is, when you miss someone, when you lose someone for that amount of time, you have people to step up. And someone who I saw step up, who I haven't seen really a lot preseason, who's been injured the majority of his career, who's getting some pressures today, Bralen Trice. I've seen some of the comments before on Bralen. Pretty high on him. He's athletic. I mean, he's prototypical when it comes to edge rusher of someone that you want on the field making some plays happen. The problem is the dude can't stay healthy. Back-to-back seasons. Something about those Washington guys and their health. I don't know what's in the water up in Seattle. Something clearly is going wrong. But he was on the field today. He was on the field against the Dolphins, and he did a solid job. The stats won't tell you a lot, but what I saw him when he was actually rushing the passer, he had a couple free rushes where he was, matching stride for stride against Gronowski, who's a very fast quarterback. I will harp on that. And also, he was able to beat his mark a couple times over on that left side, the left tackle, or right tackle, spot, that Bralen Trice was able to move down the field and actually make some plays happen. So I liked what I saw from him. overall. And considering the edge room has so many dings in it right now, there's a chance that 53-man is knocking. The chance is there. It's tough, though, because the room's crowded really all across the board, even with no J-Walk and JPJ. It's just a matter of how many bodies are they going to take, and I think they need a pretty significant amount, and it's at the sacrifice of, I think, a running back or even a wide receiver when it comes to this 53-man roster. Final person to talk about here today, Malcolm DeWalt, who I was really looking forward to seeing what he had. The special teams tape was really good throughout the preseason so far. He's been solid in training camp, had some good coverage moments. The problem is he had a bad blown coverage. The play resulted in an incompletion, thankfully. But Jalen Reagor, boom, burners. Mark Gronowski tossed it, and it looked like it was going to be a bomb tud. However, it wasn't. Just out of the reach, or maybe not quite the effort from Reagor, but Malcolm DeWalt was burned on the play. This is a corner room that depth-wise really needs some bodies right now. You kind of have your Mike Hughes, your A.J. Terrell. Avion was back finally, but there's no Billy Bowman. Darnay Holmes has won the nickel spot, essentially. Who's next? Kobe Bryant didn't play well. Malcolm DeWalt, I wouldn't say played all that well. Some of the safeties did okay. I liked what Natrone Brooks did, so maybe his stock even rose. And that's why Malcolm DeWalt, who was in a position where fighting for his life, didn't necessarily rise to the occasion. My friends, 2 weeks. That's it. Just over 2 weeks, technically, with the weekend and everything. 2 weeks until Pittsburgh. Atlanta Falcons at the Pittsburgh Steelers in the season opener. Who you got? You think the Dirty Birds start this season 1-0? Let me know down below in the comments. Get this rolling. Let's start the season 1-0. The regular season, it's officially almost here. Just a couple more days. We're going to have a lot of cut candidates to talk about. Make sure you subscribe as well to Falcons Today to stay up to date on all the Atlanta Falcons content.